We are podcastvideos.com. Our goal is to educate, enlighten, engage, and entertain. We believe in the power of love and transformation through storytelling. All right, friends and family, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Jeremiah Pickett, also known as Bang, and I am here with our newest member of the team, my friend, Samantha Lewandowski.
Thank you so much for having me.
So thanks for being here.
Of course.
You are how many days in?
This is day 5.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Week 1.
I know.
And you came back.
I did.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you guys wanted to.
Yeah, we did. Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself. I think you're cool. I think you're very intelligent and knowledgeable.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so just let the people know a little bit about Samantha.
Yeah, so I grew up in Northwest Arkansas. I'm from here, right down the road. Tiny little town called Springdale.
Yep.
Don't know if you heard of it. Yeah, grew up there, went to school in Nashville, moved back, and was just looking to work in entertainment, media and stuff. So, really glad that I found podcast videos, kind of randomly, believe it or not. Family friend introduced me. It was like, hey, you should reach out to them. Have you heard about them? And I was like, no, who are these people? And then I heard, like, in that 1 week, I heard about it, like, 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I feel like maybe I should just send an email and be like, hey, here's me. Fast forward, here we are.
No way.
Yeah.
So you said you moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
Entertainment, especially in Nashville, is such a broad, you know what I mean, spectrum from performing musicians to lighting technicians. I mean, they get the whole gambit, right?
Yeah.
So when you went to school, what was kind of your focus? Like, what were you trying to?
Yeah, so I studied business and entertainment.
Okay.
My technical major was creative entertainment industries, which I say is just jargon for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It really doesn't mean anything. And I specifically am studied, still for doing that switch.
Yeah,
I've been I'm studying for forever. Film and television is where I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah, so video-based media is really where I live. My degree kind of covered music, live events, publishing, like a little bit into hospitality with theme parks and like rides, video games, all of that. We kind of did like a really broad overview of all of it. And then you had the ability, with electives and whatnot, to really specialize in one particular field if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
what was your biggest takeaway from the entire experience of your higher education?
I really think the biggest one was being in Nashville and being exposed to entertainment. Because it's different than Northwest Arkansas. Like, there's a lot going on here in that field. Like, a lot more than you would think with Arkansas when, people don't know what's going on.
Sure.
But it's way more in Nashville. And it's a lot more music focused, which I wasn't super excited for when I got there.
Sure.
But I was like, dang, music is like so cool. And there's so much to learn that can be applied to video and film and television. And there's so much that intersects between the two. The experiences I got just working with like actual entertainment professionals, getting to hear and learn from them was probably the biggest takeaway.
What's the most underrated position in entertainment work?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like something that's essential is necessary, but people always just seem to not even understand how important it is. I can give a story. I remember when I was performing back when Format Festival was a thing here. So I was performing at Format, and I'm looking at the sound guys and just how, they were out there 10 hours before the event.
Yeah.
They're working on sound the majority of the time up until just making sure every single detail. And, I'm like, man, these guys are the unsung heroes. And then you got your lighting technicians and your people that's making sure that, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Your experience, like, what would you say? And I know your expertise is much broader than mine. So you've probably seen so much more in, you probably know some positions I don't even know about.
Well, I was going to say, like, because there's, like, the technical hands-on, like, day of event, or not even day of, like, because they're there days before.
Yeah.
Like, that sound, and I would agree with you on that. Like, your techies are, like, where it's at.
Yeah.
But on the business side of things, man, I took some law classes, and I think, like, those legal representatives have it. They're the unsung heroes because they are drafting and just putting in the work to protect you and, like, think about things that you never would have thought of. Like, contracts I'm reading through, and they'd be like, hey, make sure you have this clause and this clause and this clause, and I'm like, whoa.
I mean, stuff that would not even...
Yeah, never. And you're like, but thank you, because if I hadn't, if you hadn't included that in my contract, and then I'd be screwed. I'd be out of money. It could be the end of a career for some people. So, the legal side of things, I think those people are man, they're different.
Shout out to all the lawyers, all the, legals out there, all of that good stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so you come back with all of this business experience and ready to change the world of Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. What actually happened?
I really, really wanted to move, like, LA, Atlanta, like a really big hub. I loved Nashville, but it was music.
Yeah.
And then, but I was like, I'm not doing that move without a job. Mm-hmm. I got to have a job. And I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but a lot of people aren't hiring.
Right, yeah, for real.
Especially if you don't know.
Did y'all know that?
Yeah, did you know that? I don't know. Unemployment's kind of high right now. Yeah, and if you don't know anybody, especially at the big companies, it's hard to get in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, my parents are going to let me live with them. It doesn't matter. I've been away from home for 3 years. I miss being around family. It's not the end of the world if I have to do that.
At all, yeah.
And luckily, thankfully, my parents were like, yeah, come live with us. It'll be great. No worries. And so I was really just able to come home, reconnect with people that I knew from high school and connections I had, and just invest in here. And very quickly I realized this is where I was supposed to be and what I wanted to be doing. I love Northwest Arkansas.
Can we pause right there? Because I think you brought in a amazing point. You went to school, you got your degree, you're building your portfolio, and now you have a level of experience, expertise, and establishment that you didn't have before you went to Nashville. Right, but you said, if I got to go back and live at the house, it's cool. It's just part of the journey. Speak into that a little bit, because I think sometimes we have this mentality that it's like, once you go to college, you can't go back, or, my journey isn't what it's supposed to be. If I have to go and take this job, that's not going to, you know what I mean? So, even you in your experience, explain the mindset and just explain, what would you say to somebody that's like, oh, shoot, I went to college, now I got to go back and live back home. I'm not successful. You know what I mean?
Totally.
What would you say to that?
Man, when I started my senior year of college, I was like, my mindset was, if I have to move at home, I'm a failure. I left, I was going to go do these big things. I was going to be this great person. And maybe down the road, I'd come back when I'm super successful. And I was like, I'm just going to come back and be living in the same bedroom that I was when I was in high school. And virtually nothing's going to have changed because I still won't have a job. And why would I have moved?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is so depressing. And I know so many people that moved home after they graduated that are so successful now. And so I was like, it was a conscious decision to be like, do not think about it like that.
Yeah.
And I was still hopeful at that time that I wasn't going to have to, but I was like, it is a very large possibility. So let's make it a positive thing. Let's make it what are the opportunities? What is the blessing there, right? Because sometimes living at home is great. And I agree. And I know some people's living it with your parents would be really hard. And I'm lucky enough that living with them is great and they're awesome. But yeah, it is that big challenge of you're not a failure if you move home, because honestly, it's a smarter decision. I would say it's better to do that than to try and jump somewhere and throw a bunch of money at it and not be able to get a job and then have to move home anyway.
Yeah.
Make the smarter choice. Just stay, save money, invest, do what you can.
I love it.
Yeah.
Make the smarter choice, you guys. You're not a failure if you got to move home.
Exactly.
And if you can, it's a blessing.
Exactly.
Okay, fast forward podcast videos.
Yeah.
You get here, how? How'd you even hear about it?
Yeah, my sister-in-law's dad is a teacher in Springdale, right? And he teaches media classes.
Yeah.
And he came over one day and was like, oh man, have you heard podcastvideos.com?
And
he came and he took his students up.
Yes, my guy, David my boy.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Mr. David Oakley out there.
Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah.
He was like, I took my students up there. It's really cool. And I'd literally never heard of it before. And so I Googled, and I was like, okay, it seems legit. And then I actually worked with our editors, Kyle and Will, at Fellowship Bible Church one summer.
Really?
Before I went to college. Yeah, I was interning up there doing some video work for them. And I'd happened to be getting lunch with them that week, and your guys' name came up again. Because, asking what they were doing and how they've been. And I was like, okay, wait, so what is this company? And they're like, oh, it's great. Yeah, you should definitely reach out. And I was like, all right. So I cold emailed.
Yeah.
And luckily, Bob read it. And he was like, oh, I'll send your information over, whatever. Eric called me. It kind of happened really quickly. Now I'm here. So.
Are you one of those people that so when David planted the seed, I would have probably been like, okay, cool, I'll look into it. But then when I went to lunch with somebody and it comes back again, I'm the type of person I would have been like, okay, what's happening? Our stars align?
No, exactly. Exactly. Well, and at that point, like, man, I'd applied to probably 40 jobs and not heard back from a single one about anything. Even ones that, like, I knew people at the company. And it was just
here
so
or everywhere?
Everywhere. In Northwest Arkansas, LA, Atlanta, like, so many places, Nashville. And it's just like, again, if you don't know someone, it's hard to get past that first initial, like, screen. And so I was like, oh, this company, here's another thing. Like, I'll see what it is. And then I heard it and I was like, okay, maybe this is actually a serious thing. Yeah. So I sent the email and, got the interview scheduled. And then I was at the Bentonville Film Festival volunteering and I was leaving and I saw the wrapped car. And I was like, okay, this is like third time.
Wow.
Like, this is crazy. I was having a good feeling about it.
I might have seen you. We were over there posted up doing some interviews that day.
Yeah. I was inside the lounge, like the filmmaker lounge, just chilling out of the heat. So I wish I saw the videos post and I was like, man, I wish I would have gone out and been like, hey, what do y'all actually do? But yeah, so very happy to be here though.
Good, I'm glad. So what's your title and what will you be doing within the company?
Yeah, so I'm a customer success specialist. So basically I'm working with all of our clients to make sure that their podcast is what they want it to be. Ultimately, I want to make sure their stories are getting told. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that, the ideas that they have and they bring in are being executed in a way that's beneficial to them and to us and like ultimately leads to their success. So that's working with, the Diamond members as well as like every package that we offer in whatever capacity that looks like.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's dope. We're happy to have you.
You're
following a customer support specialist that wasn't the best. No, I'm just kidding. No. Obviously, I was in that role before you, but super happy to, have you. And you do bring a very good energy in your Sam.
Thank you. It's a super welcoming energy. It's very, I worked at a lot of different places, doing a lot of different stuff, and this is one of the best cultures that I've gotten the pleasure to work at. So it's great to come in here and be able to like feel welcomed and invited. Yeah. And, you mesh well with the team.
You definitely get the family vibe. You know what I mean? Kind of coming in here. And sometimes it's hard to say because they making jokes and like picking on you. And it's like, they treat you like they know you already as soon as you get here. And,
and you're like, I know you last week.
It's like, I'm like, I know you for real. But you get used to it.
Did you feel that too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I used to watch how they interacted with each other and, like, the jokes and stuff that they would do. And now we hear some stuff that they would say to me. And I'm like, bro, you don't know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just
how it is.
Lighthearted fun, almost like a family vibe.
Yeah.
Immediately. You know what I mean? It's not much buffer time there, which you learn to appreciate.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's if you could write the narrative, what is big picture for Samantha Lewandowski? Like, where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing? And you can either take that 5 to 10 years, you can take it to when you've gotten to the place that you deem success. Like, what do you see for yourself?
I think there's kind of two ways that you can go with that. You can go with like in life in general and like what does happiness look like, which I wish I knew the answer. Yeah. Or you can go like career, sure. Like where do you see? And I think more on the career side, honestly, this is the craziest things. I see myself doing kind of what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Which is like mind blowing. If you would have asked me 5 months ago, like my first job post grad, if I could be doing this, I'd be like, you're insane. Yeah. Everybody gets to do what they want to do right out of college. But it's helping people tell their stories in whatever capacity that looks like. Obviously for me, like my passion's in film and television, but in video-based media specifically, if I can do that, whether that's podcasting or social media, movies, TV, whatever that looks like, helping people get their stories told from start to finish is like truly just what I would love to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sam, congrats to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else do we need to know about Samantha Lewandowski?
I don't know. I'm a really picky eater. I hate everything outdoors. Go watch our episode on what we could talk about for an hour, and you'll learn I don't like exercise. I love being outside. Yeah. It's the exercise part.
I feel that.
Except for fly fishing. That's just
fly fishing. Shout out to Parker.
Yeah, that's lame. So, yeah. That's it.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
You can eat it every day.
Every day, every meal.
Really?
Yeah, I never get tired of it.
Pepperoni.
It's the only way to do it. What's your go-to pizza?
I like pepperoni.
Okay. Yeah. Best pizza place in NWA.
Ooh, Sam, that is a good one. Yeah. There is a food truck outside of Fossil Cove.
Okay.
Called, I don't know if it's Wicked Wood. I'm so sorry. I love y'all so much. I don't know if it's Wicked Wood. I gotta look it up because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't butcher them, but
I haven't heard of this, and I've lived here my whole life.
You gotta go.
Okay.
You gotta go there. Let me see. Yep, it's Wicked Wood Fired Pizza.
Okay.
And when I say it is so tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what style is it? Like thin, like street food?
They got thin, but they also do hand tossed.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it's just they have a pizza called like the honey pot or something like that. So it's pepperoni with a little honey glazed over it.
Ooh,
oh yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's fire.
You gotta check out a spot in Johnson called Ruby's Pizzeria.
I've heard of them. I've never been.
Super good. It gets crowded. It's popular, but it's super small. So good.
Ruby's?
Yeah, Ruby's.
Okay.
It's really good.
Also, if y'all got pizza suggestions, let us know.
Yeah. We'll do pizza reviews.
Yeah.
There you go. Bringing a pizza.
Your next episode, we doing pizza reviews.
Exactly.
I'm in on that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.